welcome to which one is this? Not the Roundtable, it's SAFC Fancast. Guess what? It's that time of year, so this is where my intros get messed up, my playing the wrong music gets messed up. Rafa makes fun of me. Jonathan always makes fun of me. Matt, when he wants to show his pretty little face, will pop up as well for that here. Evening, gents. We'll go with you, Mr. J. Check, Mr. U.S. Open Cup expert. How are you?
Doing all right. Just been settling into a more, I guess, relaxed rhythm with the off season. But as we will discuss in a bit, news already starting to come. Now, with the CBA expiring apparently at the end of this next month, as it turns out, we'll see how that affects things. We may, I think it'll be interesting to see if we get a few more signings and then January 1st, all of a sudden it dries up a bit. Who knows?
If you're trying to watch on the SAFC Fancast on Facebook, it's saying it's not there, but you can watch it on the SA Soccer Roundtable page here. So I'm not sure why it's giving us an error on that. But if you are watching live, it's either him or Elon or Jonathan Check, somebody. Matty Matt,
what's up,
Mr. Houston? What's up?
Not much. Just
I have a bone to pick with you, by the way.
Oh, what's the bone?
Mr. Houston, Rafa and everybody else talking about going to your favorite city in Texas to watch the World Cup, and yet you're going to Dallas?
No, I'm going to Houston.
Oh, you're going to Houston?
Yeah. I thought the Netherlands were only playing in. Well, no, because I thought the Netherlands were only going to play in Dallas, but then when we looked at it, it was in Houston also. So
Houston.
I might do 3 games in Houston.
Evening, Sam. Well, player strike or lockout? We don't know. Chris Lee, what's up, fellas? How's everyone doing tonight? Y'all feeling good? Rafa's probably not feeling great.
Long road trip. I'm exhausted.
That's not the reason.
And then
Cowboys. How'd the Cowboys do?
I knew they weren't going to win that game. And then my college team gets screwed out of the playoffs too.
And then Real Madrid with 2 red cards.
With a crappy ass ref.
And then even my AJ talked shit to Rafa today here. He's like, "Dad, can you call Rafa?" And I was like, "I don't think you're ready to handle." He's like, "Yeah, I can." I'm like, "Just be careful."
Don't worry, he'll start crying when Allen leaves after next season and goes to greener pastures.
There is a big match between Jonathan Check and Rafa on Wednesday or Tuesday, Champions League. I don't know which day it is.
I think Wednesday.
Something like that.
When they do play, Manchester City travels to Real Madrid, who, red cards aside and all joking aside, lost one of their top center backs.
Militao's out 3 months. He tore a hamstring.
So for Man City, possible good timing, but playing on the road at Real Madrid, even with the talent that they have, it is through here. And I was told to ask about his football team, but which one? Club America, Real Madrid, Mexico looks all right. If we want to talk about their draw here a little bit later on here, they got a cupcake draw for that here. Maybe not as easy as Argentina and Messi's. I think I disagree with you on that one. But
Messi's is the cupcake.
Yeah, that one. That is them in Belgium.
Yeah, AJ's all like FIFA set it up for because AJ he has an Argentina flag in his room. He wants to watch the Messi. But yet he's all like Portugal and Ronaldo are getting screwed because they have a tougher match path than Messi does. So the joys of a 17-year-old. Matt, you're a cheeky bastard.
Always.
So we got some news. surprisingly a little bit. Do you want to go into the initial breakdown of the release here, Jonathan, as far as on the 3rd, the 11 players that they announced? Some we already knew about. One we didn't really know about, but was signed to a multi-year deal that nobody knew about. And then they exercised the option on 3 players. One, I will say I do not understand why, but I'm sure we'll get into that. But go ahead, Rafa, or pardon me, Jonathan.
Yeah, so December 3rd would have been Wednesday, I believe. SAFC announces its initial roster decisions. Like we said, 11 players for next year. 7, we had talked about them a few weeks ago. We pretty much already knew because they had been listed as being on multi-year contracts already, extending past this season. So those would be Joey Batruni, Alexi Suai, Mitchell Tainer, Dimitri Erofeev, Jorge Hernandez, Alex Grieve, and Santiago Patino. Additionally, it was never announced when he initially signed with SAFC, but they also said Peron was already under contract on some sort of multi-year deal. So I guess maybe SAFC just didn't announce it. Maybe they had some sort of option that they picked up, or maybe it was even, okay, if you play a certain number of matches throughout the season, that kind of indicates, okay, you're a player that we like, maybe that automatically triggers something. Who knows? It's entirely possible that the news never trickled down to the communications team for the press release. Who knows? Like, these are all humans communicating with other humans. Maybe there's a communication breakdown somewhere in there, and that's why we didn't know. But Lucio Peron, after a rookie season where he got plenty of playing time for SAFC and where Yamosa was speaking very highly of him even before he'd officially signed his first professional contract, he gets picked up, so he's also on the multi-year. And then SAFC decided it was also going to waste no time in signing new contracts with Diogo Pacheco, Nicky Hernandez, and Richard Sanchez.
Matt, your thoughts on the first 11 back?
That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not shocked. I think we called it pretty good. But yeah, it's one of those like, you know what I mean? It's like we saw them coming. So
no, there's one I didn't see coming. Well, one I did.
Yeah,
there's one you didn't want to see coming.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that one either.
Sanchez is the Sohan of the team. So that
I mean, okay, that's a bit of a low bar. Or wait, no. So I'm confusing him with someone else. Never mind.
Sohan to me is better than Sanchez, but
yeah, I was just confusing him with another player who departed the Spurs a couple years ago. And I was like, that guy was a little different, but I'm mixing them up. I haven't been able to pay much attention to the Spurs in recent years. So yeah.
Rafa, from a goalkeeper's perspective, can you sell me on why they brought back Richard Sanchez? We got Joey Batruni, who's a youngster, who during the season you thought could be the possible starter for this upcoming year. Why he probably didn't get a lot of time from this year after graduating from the University of Virginia. Local kid will be 23 next year, so a decent age to be a starting goalkeeper in USL, depending on how he improves in the offseason, to bringing back a 32-year-old Richard Sanchez.
I think the only explanation to that would be you're not bringing your the third keeper that we had this year, and if you're going to, I guess, roll the dice and I guess turn the page and put Joey as the number one, then I understand maybe why they keep in Richard to back him up, to kind of mentor him. But You know, well,
he
we
does
also,
like going around 1604. We'll just leave it at that.
like I said, you still need a good defense too, I could say. But I think if that's the plan, okay, it's understandable. But you make Joey the number one. But if it's gonna be open competition, and like I said, if that's the case, okay, I understand too. If you want him to earn it, earn it. But to me, I think what they could have done is just maybe kind of moved on and find another goalkeeper with experience, maybe younger, under 30, to kind of be the bridge for Joey to take over in his third year. I think that makes more sense. Now, granted, we're gonna have an open roster spot for keeper number 3, so we don't know if keeper number 3 could be our number 1. And if you go back to the championship season, we had 3 number 1s on the roster, which we had the Beard, Far, and the guy that just retired after 2 weeks and just got his paycheck and left. Because he did start a couple games, so I guess but that worked out to the end because you said, but you had 3 experienced keepers there, so I think if that's the move they're going to do, then so be it. You know,
Christian
if you're going to
Bonilla, by the way,
Christian Bonilla, yeah. So if you're going to bring in somebody that's going to be your new number 1 with experience to just kind of be the bridge the gap for Joey, then yeah. But yeah, it was a little head scratcher there, but we'll see. It's all going to depend on what happens during training camp. You know, if the main thing is, can Joey beat out Richard and whoever else they bring in during training camp to impress Yamosa and trust him to be between the pipes and be the starter.
Matt, are you okay, man? Do you need to change your shirt because the color red isn't doing well on at this time here?
No, but we got. I don't know. I'm leaving it alone. I don't even want to talk about it.
Hey, Sam is keeping you updated here, and
I can see that. I see that.
3%.
Yeah, we're going to 3%.
Jonathan, any thoughts? I know you went over kind of the news side because you're on our media side, but any personal thoughts on about? To me, the Nicky and Diego, not any surprises. I don't think anybody through there. I think Sanchez was the only one that kind of raised the eyebrows a little bit of, ooh, that one kind of, especially this early. Did not even really see if there was other qualified goalkeepers out there. But any personal thoughts on you before you announce the next 2? Or we'll do the next one, which would be Luke.
Yeah. I guess I would just say in terms of the guys that they re-signed, Sanchez could work if there is the right third keeper in there. You know, I think Rafa started his argument by saying, you know, oh, maybe Petruni is the number 1. I don't think there's a very slim chance that happens now, unless he really takes a step up this year. But I think it would make sense to maybe see a younger guy who is able to sort of bridge that gap of the experience of Sanchez and the potential maybe of Petruni, someone who's got a little bit of both, who is able to take that number 1 role. Hopefully sticks around longer than Christian Bonilla. We'll see. But we'll see how that goes. I know that's the one that's gonna have a lot of people scratching their heads. Maybe that's part of why they decided to go ahead and re-sign him early, is just lump him in with these other 10 guys, try and distract from it. I don't know. But in terms of Pacheco, as long as he's able to stay fit, seemed like he had some potential in that Yamosa system. Just needed to maybe get some rhythm, perhaps, if not for some of those injuries that disrupted his season. And then Nicky, I think I've said before, decent player, but from what it sounds like, he's really important just for the team culture, the for lack of a better term, vibes around the team. I guess just a guy who is maybe the glue in the locker room that kind of keeps things together, gives them a more cohesive unit. So all of a sudden, it wasn't necessarily a proper starting 11, but at the very least, SAFC gave us 11 players right off the bat to say, hey, we've got these guys next year. They're under contract, whether they already were or whether we just re-signed them. So there you go. There's almost half the roster right there. And I don't know if there, again, was maybe some sort of communication disconnect. I don't know if maybe the re-signings just didn't happen in time, but the very next day, December 4th, SAFC announces Luke Hawkinson re-signed on a multi-year deal, interestingly, in the morning. And in the afternoon, they announced Alex Crognale being re-signed. Obviously, he had to leave last season, and not leave, but was sidelined last season with a shoulder injury, underwent surgery and everything. SAFC never officially ruled him out for the rest of the season, but that's essentially what it was. Who knows if there was even really a chance of him coming back, maybe very, very late in the season. But at that point, I would question, do you really want to disrupt the rhythm of the team if they do make a deep playoff run? But I would say for those two, maybe it's almost a case of SAFC saying, okay, these are not going to be very controversial signings. Let's give them their own announcement. Okay. I see you have, we'll put a pin in that, Mr. Austin. But yeah, with Hawkinson, he was getting consistent playing time. He was perhaps not being utilized in the best way, but I would say is a decent player, more than a decent player, has a good skill set. I know there was one point last year where I highlighted his efficiency. He wasn't necessarily getting many chances, but he was scoring a lot of them, at least at the time. And then Crognale, I don't think there are really any qualms about bringing him back. He and Tainter were very solid in the center of defense. And I mean, hopefully they're able to stay fit for a whole year. I mean, Mitch missed a couple spells here and there, and then obviously Alex missed toward the end. If they're able to both stay fit for the duration of the year, that can be a really solid center back pairing.
Well, here's why I'm pushing back. Like, I don't mind Alex, and I don't even mind Luke being re-signed. Both of them will be 31 next year. To go with Tainer, he'll be 31. Alexis Sohei at 31. But to me, Luke on a multi-year deal is where my issue kind of comes into a little bit with it, just for the fact that, one, he's not the quickest guy. I think he's a good player off the bench, but and of course we don't know what the salary is. If he's not commanding a higher than what we think salary, then fine. But with him having that MLS pedigree, the leadership that he does bring, my issue's more our average age right now, and this is with a 19-year-old, is 27.8. If we take away, it puts it at 27.82, so almost an average age of 28-year-olds on a USL championship team. Which for me, our issue is we needed speed. There is no speed that we brought back. Period. Now, like I said, yet, and that's key. But we're talking about the players here. Depending on the salary, and we'll never know the salary based on how USL and SAFC does. But to me, like I wouldn't mind Luke coming back if he was signed like Crognale, where it was just the 1-year deal, and of course they have the option that I wouldn't necessarily mind. But where they're signing him a guaranteed multi-year deal, that's for me where I didn't like this signing because it was a multi-year deal. Your thoughts, Rafa, on Luke and Alex coming back?
I think Alex makes more sense. Just anchoring the defense. Luke was kind of the question mark. I wasn't To me, he had his moments, but down to is just a lack of speed that we have, and we also need to get a little bit younger and more athletic, and that's what I think that's the missing piece as far as our squad is. If we're gonna get better, we're gonna make a deep run. We just didn't have that extra juice on the field, and that's what we need. And then, like I said, the player that we had got hurt, and you saw the effect on that. So maybe I think he's maybe a good role player. Barry, he's a good in the locker room. You bring him in, okay, fine, but still, I think we waste just too much time. And I'm looking at other teams that they're signing other players from other teams. I'm like, hey, you can get on the ball and really kind of target what's lacking on this. Like I said, is the team speed up front. We do need another quality striker as well to back up Patino and so forth. Because the ones we had were not very reliable because they got hurt a lot. So you have, and that was a little surprising too. That's the reason Pacheco, like, because he was also on the shelf a lot, and to me, I would probably moved on and gone someone, maybe a little bit younger, a little bit more speed wise, but if they're going based on what the character and locker room, cohesiveness, fine, and they want to keep some of the chemistry. Because, like I said, we had our moments, but like I said, there's still a lot.
We were an 8th place team. Let's not sugarcoat our season here.
I mean, I'm not sugarcoating it, but from what we came back from, like I said, there's something you want to build upon. Okay, what can you do better to go up? So I think that's what the focus is. That they need, unless they're taking out trips out of South America right now, like they usually do, and trying to find someone down there.
So here's where, and you and I had kind of a quick discussion earlier today here. You mentioned we need to improve the midfield. We're bringing back Jorge. We're bringing back Barone. We're bringing back Hernandez. We're bringing back Hawkins. So you figure there's at least, 2 starters there? At least, maybe 3? Depending on who they bring in. That's my concern is, hopefully we're able to hopefully Jorge stays. I think I put in that I think that he moves on, but as of yet that hasn't happened, and hopefully he does stay. And we have Dimitri Irofeev, who I have to think will take a step up this year just because he's going to be more bulked up and along those lines here. Maybe he's that missing piece for that here that can kind of fill in. And of course, they will bring in others. That's my concern is we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 midfielders.
But you're mentioning those midfielders are more attack-minded. Minus
which was our issue.
But remember, you're also missing who are missing Soto and Omar. Those are your 2 holding mids. So you're actually missing 2 holding mids. And now out of that group, maybe one can play holding mid. Nicky, he can play some of that, but those are pretty much your attacking mids, and you need depth on that.
We needed better. Oh, go ahead, Jonathan. I know you got something to say.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, if there was any midfielder on there that I would say is more of a defensive midfielder, I would say it's Barone.
Yeah,
Barone is.
Yeah,
that's
Barone. Maybe Nicky.
Yeah, Nicky plays kind of both. He can play both, but he's more of a utility midfielder. But like I said, you're bringing back Barone, but then you also. I don't think our midfield was complete, but I think we need to bring in another attacking midfield to complement Jorge. And that's the thing. We need someone that can kind of take most of the burden off of Jorge and also the attention, because if you saw some of the games, he was getting double team or triple team around.
Well, they focused on him.
Yeah, and that's why we need someone that can. You want to focus on him, great. We'll get the other guy that's going to hurt you in the end. That way we can distribute balls to our forwards and to our wingers. Dimitri, I think he's more of the outside. I think they need to give him a chance this year.
You think he's?
They have to give him a chance.
I don't got to give him a chance, but I thought he was more kind of the Jorge, kind of along those lines here. Maybe not necessarily outside, but we will see. Matt, we're going to let you do the first on Shannon Gomez has officially departed. He announced it. SAFC confirmed it with the thank you, Shannon. From my, Shannon's been with us, 4 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, has been awesome with the supporters groups for the last few years. All around great guy, fast, played international football that made us proud. So your thoughts, and then we'll go to Rafa and then Jonathan on Shannon Gomez's departure.
Oh man, it hurt, but at the same time, I was happy because he was just on the bench this year, and he barely played. So I don't want to hold back from like his talent could be used somewhere else if it needed to be. But at the same time, it was it's a sad thing because he was there for us for the championship, and like you said, he was very gracious towards the supporter group. So um, it's kind of one of those like it's not bad, but at the same time, it's a good thing for him personally to for whatever the football gods have in his favor. So excuse me, uh, but yeah, it's I'm happy for him. I really am.
Rafa?
Yeah, I think he was just very, very underutilized this year. And to me, when we heard last year he was being brought back, remember we kind of thought that he was probably would leave because he also towards the end he's kind of diminished too, even with Marcina. And but when he brought him back, I said, all right, so at least we got some experience. But he just couldn't never, a lot of times he was a healthy scratch, and I don't know how to me I think they should have just released him mid-season, let him go somewhere else or transfer him somewhere else and get maybe, especially when what's his name went down. We could have probably used him as trade bait to get somebody to kind of get another player in return, to take care of that need. But Paredes, Paredes went down. We could have probably sent him off to another team to get swapped out, somebody.
At least some reduction in salary.
Yeah, to get bring in a player that we need for that area. So that way Shannon got his playing time too. So, but I just wish him the best, and hopefully he gets on a team that does get the playing time because he's still young. He's still he's under 30, so I think he still has juice, some juice in the tank.
Shannon will be 29 this year. Yeah. Jonathan?
He's still young. He's under 30. That's where the benchmark is with this SAFC roster so far. Yeah, I mean, I put, initially I didn't even have it in the show notes. You guys may have noticed me furiously adding it a moment ago, but I realized I was like, oh, we need to talk about this too, because Shannon was a great servant to the club for 4 years. Gave his all. Was, like you guys said, interacted with the fans really nicely. I have a picture of sort of my mom making kind of a weird face, but like hands on his shoulders or something. They're both looking excitedly at each other. I have no idea what was going on in that picture.
Your mom with every player. Come on.
Fair, but I know for a fact I found it with that one, with Shannon. But I mean, he was just a friendly guy with the supporters. He was, I would say, one of the better interviews we had, not necessarily even just because he gave us good sound bites, good quotes, but when he would be listening to questions and answering questions, he would really give deeper thoughts. It wasn't just the cliches. He would be thoughtful in his responses. He would have a smile on his face. He was a really friendly guy, and it's going to be unfortunate not to have him around. But at the same time, to echo you guys, I've said before on this show, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to see him waste away. If he's still got more in the tank, let him use it somewhere else. It sucks that it's not going to be at SAFC, but I would rather see him playing out the rest of his career more comfortably, more happily with another team than sitting on the SAFC bench. It just wouldn't be right.
So we are in the off season for SAFC. Looking at their, because I think it was Matt asked, "Hey, do you think we're going to get signings coming up here?" Last year, our first signing was for non-returning was December 20th. For that here, so under this administration, most of our signings were done in January for that here. So with the
Yeah, but those signings felt like panic signings at the time.
well, I think the reason why is you got teams like Tampa that's reloaded, Lexington's loaded for that here with getting Luis Felipe and Malloy from Charleston. I don't know if that's announced officially, but that's rumored for that here. Just you figure the league's going to kick off probably early March. The schedule hasn't been released yet, but Open Cup, and we'll get to this, first round for Open Cup will be the 17th through the 19th of March. Usually it's 2 weeks prior to that, so usually that first week in March is when they're having. So as much as I'd like to get some holiday presents of new players and stuff, that technically hasn't been SAFC's tradition. Jonathan, go ahead.
I am just going to point out, so we were saying the first new signing last year was December 20th. Let's keep in mind, Carlos Hermoso was announced as the head coach on December 16th. So now that you're not having to search for a new head coach, possibly these things fall into place a little sooner, you would hope. But again, as I alluded to earlier in the show, with the CBA negotiations still ongoing, that may push things back a little bit. So it's going to be probably a bit of a weird off season as things stand right now. It's going to be a weird year next year with the World Cup coming,
What
which
the?
will affect a few things. I hope
Sorry.
that's
I
good.
thought my mic was
Okay. Yeah, the World Cup next year will obviously affect a few more things as we're about to discuss, but hopefully at the very least
that
you have a
are
head
wondering
coach.
what Matt's reaction was, the right wing kicker for the Chiefs hit the crossbar. And it bounced out. So the Chiefs are still losing. As a Bronco fan, I don't care for that here. Matt's like, fuck you. So let's.
I was gonna say, ask Jonathan. Is it? Do you see it? Is it kind of odd that as far with the player signings that our sporting director has kind of been mum about things and stuff, and is it just his normal?
Dude, Preston's more vocal than sporting director.
I mean, and then also, do you think he's on the hot seat now? Because he's got to have. Do you think he needs to deliver as far as players after kind of this season?
I mean, he has been there for 2 years, but under 2 different head coaches. I feel like the sporting director, fair or not, is usually not the one who takes the heat for these kinds of things. So if things aren't necessarily going well, it's, as we saw last year, people would be calling for Yamosa's head before Ferrucci's. I mean, you literally had people calling for Yamosa to get fired after SAFC dropped its first points of the season. So that tells you everything you need to know. Like sporting directors, especially maybe someone like Ferrucci, who just kind of blends into the background for better or worse, is not as public of a guy.
He is hidden in the background.
Especially for someone like him who just is not front of mind for people. I'd say he's got relatively good job security because just no one's going to think to blame him. No one is going to blame him. They're going to say, oh, it's Yamosa. Things aren't going well.
Yeah, but it was stupid for everybody blaming Yamosa when it was his first year. There was no reason to go after the new coach yet. If anything, if
tell that to SAFC fans.
No, trust me, I get it. But if you're going after anyone first, you should have went after the sporting director. These are your players you picked alongside your new coach, right? if
Hey,
if this is
Sam's
fit,
right. That's just Spurs culture. We're
but and
supposed to
that's
go
true too.
undefeated every year. And Matt, you're not a real fan.
Oh, I know. But what do you call it? But it just makes sense because the sporting director plays into the hands of what how the Spurs
Oh, hey,
are.
Taylor's there.
So
Taylor Swift.
uh, it is what it is at this point. I mean, I I don't know how to look at them anymore. It's just it's at the point where I'm not going to blame the coach. I'm not going to blame the coach at all. He got to the playoffs. He did what he could with what he had. I'm not blaming the coach at all. Now, can I blame some of the players for how they played? Yes, I will do that. But at the same time, I'm not. I can't blame on the optimism of what Yumosa was trying to do last season. Did he come out strong with those 4 back-to-back wins? Yes. What happened? Nobody's gonna know. We'll never know what happened. But at the same time, I just can't blame him. I can't blame the coach yet. Maybe the third year I'll blame him, but I can't blame him on the first and second year because you don't know what you're getting back, and at the same time you don't know what's gonna mesh and what isn't gonna mesh.
To me, I think it depends on who's actually in charge of the roster. And until we know that, um, you have to put it on Ferruzzi for that here. But moving on, format, schedule, and participating teams finalized for the 2026 Lamar Hunt. And this came out of nowhere. First round, March 17th, 19th, pretty normal. However, there's 32 open division teams and only 48 pro side clubs. So um, the other interesting aspect, if you actually look at the schedule of this, first round, is the 17th, mid March. Second round, end of March. Third round, a round of 32 when MLS comes in, mid April. The 16th, round of 16th, and the quarterfinals end May 20th. Then the semifinals and finals is in September and October. Now you got the World Cup in there, but there's that huge gap. The final things here, notable teams that are in Austin, Houston, Dallas is not. I think Dallas is in Leagues Cup, right? If I think I saw that correctly. Sporting Kansas City, St. Louis, the USL Championship teams. It's there was 13, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
All the
8.
playoff teams.
For USLC, yeah, it's playoff teams, and then I think
17.
plus one more.
Yeah, plus one. So
I was reading on the Cup.us earlier. It was supposed to be 16 from MLS, USL Championship, and the third divisions, but apparently there were only 15 eligible teams in those third divisions, or maybe just only in USL League One. So they gave an extra slot to USL Championship.
it went to India because India 11 didn't make the playoffs, right? They just missed.
I think they missed it, yeah.
Yeah, so India 11 is the one that got the one spot, but basically, kind of like I want to say it was the COVID Open Cup, where it was the playoff teams that got elected along those lines, which SAFC benefited from as well. Because there was a year where
you mean
the
last
Open
year?
Cup was no, not last year.
Because they just didn't do it during COVID for 20 or 21.
Well, there's one year, or I might be getting the cups messed up. But anyways, so the 17 USL Championships teams, all the playoff teams with the exception of India 11, all 13 teams of USL Championship, the 2 teams of, or I guess I should clarify, all the existing teams in USL League One, not the expansion teams. The existing teams that played last year made it, which was 13, was 13, and then the 2 independent MLS Next Pro teams, and then the amateurs. They're still qualifying participants out of Houston, ASC New Stars. Just trying to see if there's other local ones here. And then earned buys to the first round. Des Moines, who beat us. The Burrito El Farrito. Laredo Heat, who could be a possible first round matchup. I was looking forward to Corpus possibly being in that group, but since they're an expansion team, they will not be eligible for Open Cup. So that kind of sucks from a San Antonio aspect. My personal views. I understand it's a World Cup. I hate that they cut it even shorter. My fear is that this could be something that could be going on in the future as well for that here. And if they were going to do this here, I wish everybody would have went into one bucket and then you just played, it was a random draw at that point going forward, not protecting MLS again in the future along those lines here. So, Jonathan, your thoughts from a media perspective and personal perspective, if you have any?
I mean, I don't know from the media perspective if there's really much to say, but personally, like you just alluded to, it's something U.S. Soccer is doing apparently because of the World Cup this year, and they're getting most of the, all but 3 matches really done before that break. So the bulk of it is going to be March, April, May. But I think it does kind of set a dangerous precedent because it almost gives MLS and now the other leagues that permission to say, oh, well, if U.S. Soccer's okay with only having some of our teams compete, then great. Obviously, we don't need to send all of our teams to it. We'll just do this reduced format and it'll be fine. Don't give them an excuse to do that. It's also just sad to see not every team competing, even in the lower leagues now. I don't know exactly what this I guess maybe would be a question for Josh Akala from the Cup.us, but I don't know exactly what we did in 1994. But I don't think we really had a solid professional league at the time anyway.
No,
so I don't think the World Cup would have really affected Open Cup like that. You wouldn't have had the overlap and all that. So it's unfortunate. I could totally understand them having to adjust the format because of the World Cup, but reducing it like this is very unfortunate. It's making me think now, the Open Cup had to do this. I'm curious what the USL is going to do because, like we said earlier, we haven't seen those schedules yet. They should theoretically be coming out within the next few weeks. That's usually when it happens. Mm-hmm. So who knows how they do it? Who knows if they change their format up next year a little bit? But
Jaeger Cup too. And Jaeger Cup too.
Yeah, who knows if we don't have Jägermeister Cup next year?
And Jaeger Cup will be expanded because USL League One is going to have, I think, 5-6 teams. I forget these. They're expanding a lot in there, and then I think championship. I think we're staying the same, right? As far as playoff structure or league structure. I know we lost North Carolina, added Brooklyn. Are they adding Jacksonville as well next year?
I'm not sure if it's next year. Expansion is so fuzzy because everyone's always saying, oh, we're planning to join this year, and then they decide, you know what, we'd like to wait another year or two, and then promotion relegation comes into the thing, and oh, you know what, we'd like to wait for that because they want a chance to get promoted. And so it's just a really hazy thing. But Rafa and Matt, any thoughts on the Open Cup being altered for next year?
I just want to play Houston. That's all I want. I just want San Antonio to play Houston. That's all I want for Christmas.
I think they're setting us to play Austin because Austin's still itching on getting their ass kicked by us a few years ago.
That's if we can
make
win
it.
2 matches.
That's if we
We're excited.
Yeah, you have to win your first 2 matches, I think, because I think USL Championship. Yeah, because I think USL Championship comes in like the first round. I want to say
Jacksonville. Sporting Jacks is coming in 2026.
The Apple
So
Jacks.
there will be a +1
In the
of
East.
teams in the East because North Carolina out, Brooklyn and Sporting Jacks both on the Eastern Seaboard.
They both come in next year?
So, yeah. Well, based on at December 7th, yes. Could that change? This is USL.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to make that decision soon, though. Like I said, schedule should
Very
be coming out
soon.
in the next couple weeks.
I just don't think we just take these Open Cups serious. I think Jaeger, because we won some games, I think we kind of took it serious, except for that last game. But U.S. Open Cup, I don't know. We just never had a real true interest, except for that one game against Austin. That's really about it. Because ever since that game, we've just like,
Yeah, but that game against Austin, I think it was more of a we deserved it more than you.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying is that after that,
They didn't care.
We just don't care about it anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like they care more if they played an MLS team.
Well, because there's more money into it, just to be fair.
Yeah. Well, guess what? To play an MLS
but
team, you have to beat the teams in previous rounds. So can't get to that spot.
And I think it also depends where that game is played at. If the game is played in San Antonio, they care a whole lot more than if it's played in Houston or Dallas or Houston or Austin, if those are the teams we're playing this year. So the last cup, and it's going from the Open Cup to the World Cup, we had a draw in Rafa's group, Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and playoff D. Hold on, let me get the...
Probably either Denmark or Ireland, unless North Macedonia.
I want Ireland because that's going to be crazy. That's going to be fun.
I'd rather get North Macedonia. I wouldn't be surprised if North Macedonia does, because remember, they did beat Italy.
So, playoff D. I don't think that's the right word here. Hold on.
Y'all going to be mad at me.
What?
Guess what the Chiefs' record's going to be?
6 and 7. Oh.
You know, you can tell you're old when you don't understand the joke, even after my son's tried to explain it to me.
It's just stupid. It's just numbers. That's all it is. It's just fucking numbers.
I was going to say, what explanation is there? It's just nonsense from what I understand.
It's just numbers.
Maybe that's why I don't get it. But Chesnia, Denmark, North Macedonia. If you ever catch a match on North Macedonia, watching their home matches are kind of interesting because it's a super small facility. And then Ireland. So I think it would be probably between Ireland and Denmark are probably the most two popular teams possible coming out.
Yeah.
Group B, which is Matt's Team Canada.
Wait, what?
Well, you don't like Mexico. I've heard your comments through there.
Says what?
You don't like the U.S. You've told me and Robert that many times here. So the only team that you could have would be Canada.
No.
Because you're Team North America here.
No.
Canada, the playoff A winner, which is Bosnia and Herzegovina, Italy, Northern Ireland, or Wales. Can Italy finally get over the hump in that group? You guys are all shaking your head, yes, but the last two World Cups, that's been
I have a feeling they're gonna choke on one of those games, unless Gattuso can get on them.
Well, as long as they choke in the first round, because it's a two-legged spiel, as opposed to the final one, which is a one-game win in advance.
Sam, since you're still there, 15%. That's your percentage.
Yeah, if Italy hosts that, if they pass through that home and away, they get to the last game. If they host it, I think they have a chance. But which will make, if they do get in, they'll make that group be a little bit more tougher.
Yeah, Matt brings up a great point. Fun fact: aside from Canada, Mexico, South Korea is the only country not playing a group stage in the U.S. And I can tell you that a lot of people were kind of upset about that because there is a lot of American Koreans in the U.S. that would have loved to have gone. But they are playing all in Mexico since they are in Mexico's group for that here. To me, Group C, Brazil, Morocco, and then a huge gap, Haiti and Scotland. For that here, Group D, the U.S. group, so Royce's group, United States, Paraguay, Australia, and then the playoff C winner, Kosovo, Romania, Slovakia, or Turkey. I think Turkey's the favorite on
Yeah,
that.
Turkey's the favorite.
If there was between Romania and Slovakia, any of those two, you think will put up a real challenge?
Mm-mm. Turkey's gonna, if they get in, they're gonna be a very dangerous team, and they already they played already once, and you saw what happened. That kind of that beat down they did back in September.
I will. I know. I forget who said U.S. was in the group, the easiest group. To me, I don't think it's the group of death, but I think the United States group is the most mid group where basically all the teams are. You don't really have any elite teams, but you don't really have any shitty teams if it's Turkey that gets into there. So you could
You have good quality teams, not
correct. So
superstar teams, but good quality teams that can sneak up on you.
correct. So I don't, like I said here, for the United States, them being at home, I think they get Paraguay first, if my understanding. Like I said here, if they can get past that, then like I said here, I like the United States chances to advance. I don't know if I'd go as well as what Henry mentioned that getting to what the second round of the playoffs for that the knockout stage. I don't know if I have that much confidence, but we will see. And I think we need to temper the expectations of, hey, we can win this group and it's an easy group. I personally don't think it's an easy group. I'm not saying it's the I'm not saying it's the hardest group because I do think that there is a group like Group I with France, Senegal, and Norway that to me I think has the potential to be further here. But anybody want to jump in on the three groups that we've kind of covered? We'll go over the rest here in a minute, unless you want me to go over the rest of them, and then you guys will just
And go to the rest.
discuss.
Yeah,
Uh, so E, Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Group F, Netherlands.
That's a tough one for Germany because
Really?
Ivory Coast and Ecuador are very good defensive teams. And the way Germany's been playing right now, offensively,
Not
they
great,
have
yeah.
nothing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get grouped in that group. Just keep it. Just like I said, if they're gonna have trouble with Ivory Coast and Ecuador.
They haven't got past the
Yeah,
last two World Cups, right? They've got
yeah.
knocked out in the group stage.
This is the group that you kind of keep an eye on because I don't think this. It may look on paper that Germany should pass, but those two teams very good defensively, and right now Germany is not doing well when it comes to scoring goals.
Group F, Netherlands, Japan, UEFA Playoff B, which is Albania, Poland, Sweden, and Ukraine. Ukraine, and then Tunisia for that here. Any favorite that you predict coming out of there? Ukraine's usually solid. Sweden's pretty solid. The Polish are pretty solid. That one seems like, and Albania's.
Yeah,
That one's kind of the meh. But Poland, Sweden, and Ukraine historically have showed up at certain times.
I think Poland
Sweden.
and Sweden are probably your two favorites, and either of them will make that group a little bit tougher. Japan's a sneaky team. They're very organized. They're very disciplined. They got some players. I don't think the Netherlands can't take them lightly.
Mm-mm.
Tunisia, it depends on what team shows up. I think they're playing in the Arab Cup,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll see what they show as far as talent wise. If they do a good showing on the Arab Cup, it can make things a little interesting in Group F.
Group G: Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Group H: Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Spain, to me, Spain's got a pretty easy group for that here, and I know everybody's excited.
Uruguay is going to give them some.
Yeah, I was about to say
game-
Uruguay.
Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, I don't think will.
No.
So
It
But
would just be
Uruguay-
Uruguay.
Uruguay could give them some problems, but plus that game's going to be actually in Guadalajara, so it's going to be in the heat, and we'll see how they. And that's going to be a factor in too. Can they play the heat? You
Heat
saw that in the
elevation,
Club World
right?
Cup. Yep. You saw the Club World Cup. You saw those players are all kind of dying out there.
Oh, and the elevation, right?
Elevation,
No elevation not in Guadalajara. That's going to be at the Mexico City, and Monterrey.
Group I: France, Senegal, playoff 2, which is Bolivia, Iraq, or Suriname,
Bolivia. It'll probably be Bolivia.
and Norway. So I think that's, to me, I think that has the potential to be the group of death for that here, because France and Norway gets a lot of love because of Holland, but I don't know if they're as deep as everybody thinks they are. But I think they're a solid team, and like I said, Senegal's historically has been a solid team. Group J, I wish they could have found a fourth pot with an A.
With an
Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and then Jordan. Team Messi couldn't have drawn a better group.
Hey, it's like how when you get mad at AJ, AJ.
And then Portugal's groups, I think somewhat easy as well. Portugal, FIFA Playoff 1, which is DR Congo, Jamaica, and New Caledonia.
It'd probably be Jamaica.
Cakewalk, yeah. And I think Colombia and Portugal advance out of there.
Yeah, they play last. They play in Miami for that game.
And then it's not coming home. England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama.
I just got that.
They play those two play first on the first game.
Yeah, and Ghana's not the historic. Well, at least at this point, is
You can't take Ghana lightly.
No, you can't.
You cannot take them lightly at all.
So can we all agree it's L? That's his group of death.
No.
Okay.
Why would you say it's L?
It just I feel more on L.
What do you
Matt
think?
just likes the letter L.
Well, he takes a lot of losses. Like
I was about to say, yeah, I've been taking a bunch of fucking.
I think Germany's group might be the group of death, but
with Ivory Coast,
it's not being looked at as a group of death, but it could turn out to be. I know France and
Sam thinks it's with L. I think it's I.
I think that's group L somewhat, but I don't think. I mean, Ghana, like I said, Ghana is. Like I said, they've always give trouble to teams. It's which one shows up, and you've seen them in the past how they play. They can turn it up one notch. Sometimes they play down. I think Group L and Group.
I can see E. I can agree with that.
F. I think Group F could be one too.
F is underrated, yeah.
F could be one if it's Sweden or Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I think Group D, I think one will be the closest when it comes to actual performance. I think to me, that group you could see, especially if it's Turkey, where the teams finish 1-1-1 in the group, and it wouldn't shock me in just different things. Because, like I said here, I could see the United States beating Paraguay, or losing to Paraguay, beating Australia, and tying Turkey, or some sort of combination along those lines here. Now, one thing we don't know, injuries always pop up late minute that changes things. Teams get hot as far as players get hot. Pardon me. And I think the other the underrated thing here is players and just the fitness of them playing, because they'll be coming off leagues, most of them, so they'll have a little bit of rest but not a lot.
See,
And
all I
so,
know is if Messi doesn't play, I'm gonna get pissed. If I
who?
bought those tickets,
Messi's playing.
Well, they,
I'm
they were
just saying.
they were
I'm just
saying
saying
that
that'd be funny.
they were saying that Argentina plays better without him.
That too.
But
Dude,
I
the
think
World Cup's in the United States. For those that don't know,
it's about
if you're
selling
anti-MLS, he
If he
just
does,
won the MLS Cup.
yeah,
There is no chance that he's not playing here in the United States, just from a marketing aspect for MLS.
they may limit him as far as playing.
I don't know if he
games.
starts, but
Yeah, they may limit him. They may save him for crunch time games. Which, if they win their group and Portugal wins their group, you may have a Ronaldo versus Messi quarterfinal.
And isn't Ronaldo suspended for at least
I
one
think
game,
just one
most
game,
likely?
but I think that's I think the Belgian, I don't know which game, the U.S. game, I think,
I thought it was the Mexico game.
or one of them.
Well,
That's
no,
why.
I thought he suspended for one World Cup game. Because friendlies don't count towards those, right? Or do they?
Unless they paid off. I mean, if they give participation medals, I'm sure they pay off. They can pay off the UEFA or FIFA president.
It's not like FIFA's corrupt or anything.
Yeah,
Well, they like giving awards.
No, not one bit. Totally.
you know they don't want to lose ticket sales,
I'm
especially in
sorry.
that first game when they
We
play
give
in,
out trophies to people who don't need them.
when they play in Dallas. I mean, when they play in Houston. That's why I'm wondering. I'm hoping to go to the game on the 23rd against Uzbekistan, because I'm sure he's probably going to score like 4 or 5 goals on them.
And I do want to give out a shout out to Matt and FTC 210 and what was it, Twin Bros?
Mm-hmm.
They're in Helotes. If you haven't been out there, good little soccer bar for here. I know it's a hamburger joint, but I think it's mainly soccer's. And the Chiefs have scored a Kareem Hunt, so Matt's back in the game. We'll
I didn't get the update, so I believe you.
So, well, no, they just saw it that they did. But thanks, Matt, for putting that out. That was it was fun to kind of go and visit. And
We're actually gonna have to thank Mijo because Mijo got that together.
oh, mijo.
Yeah, Mijo got it together. So the funny thing is, when I went to go talk to the manager, I was like, "Can I get your number?" He was like, "Oh, are you from American Outlaws?" I was like, "Yeah, no."
Pancho Villa, buddy.
Well, I mean, I have to pay for the membership. I really need to for with Robert, so I can help him out. But I was like, no,
kudos to Robert and his Vikings on getting a W today.
But yeah, we might see more watch parties out there. They're under the eye watch of others, so let's see what happens. Maybe we can get more out there. They do have a back patio for watch parties also, so let's see what happens. And I know it's probably kind of a far drive for those on the northeast side.
Like
so
Jonathan.
I mean, it's worth it. I'll be honest, it really is. I'm not gonna lie, it is. Damn, dude.
I mean, like I said, they play like crap. I mean, if I'm a coach, I'd be pissed off too. So, I've coached the games like that. So,
I will say,
I can man up. I'm not like La Niña Mala, whatever, and cry about.
Where's how would you need him?
Yeah, I can man up when there's a loss. So, like I said,
I will say this, and this is something that MLS and even USL has to kind of worry about. AJ and his friends are 100% more invested in the EPL and La Liga. Like AJ, he has friends that are Real Madrid fans. He's more Barcelona, but he watches both teams. he watches Real Madrid, as he calls it, a hate watch to talk shit to his friends and to Rafa, and of course they watch Barcelona to talk shit to him. So which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but for a U.S. fan, for somebody that looks through here, that to me that's very concerning. Where no offense to SAFC, AJ follows what you do, but he does not have the same amount of interest in the team that like he
And
does with Man City and Barcelona, Real Madrid. Like he's like, dude, I loved hate watching this game here, and dude, he was talking shit in the house, So
and that's the thing. One thing that was brought up when we saw the STM reps
mhm.
at the Mexico game. Me and Rafa were having like that little one-on-one chat with them, and it's at the end of the day, it's in their hands how they do it or how they want to get more people to watch or more people to go out. It's in their hands, whether it be the Spurs or whether it be SAFC. It's in their hands to control the atmosphere in San Antonio. Now, could they use a boost in that, or find someone who can give them that boost? They really need to, but at the end of the day, it's more it's on them more than it is on San Antonio going out and looking for them.
Yeah,
Because
like I don't think no offense, I don't think it's really something that SAFC and even MLS can do a whole lot, just because the better football is over there, or the better soccer, whatever you want to call it.
it
The
really
Premier
is.
Leagues, if AJ was a star player, he would want to go over to Europe. That's the goal. It's not to stay, and I know there's a few exceptions to that there, but people want to go over to Europe, like Jose Gallegos, who scored a goal this past week, and didn't Royce mention Sam is tearing it up in the league that he's doing right now.
The
Sam
Austrian
Dinner.
league.
So
But that's the thing too, with when it comes to the fandom for these players, where they not it we can only do so much,
mhm.
and we can only help out so much. It's just not the same, and it will never be the same quality as it is in the Euros or on the other side of the world. North America is not, and we're saying okay, not North America, United States. Just
Well, I put North America because, and Rafa, you may correct me on this, but I don't think Mexico is at the same level it was 10 years ago.
They still watch Liga MX. It's still more popular than
But
MLS.
locally, but in
As
the national game, it does not
what
draw.
what hurt them is not having a promotion relegation. That's because of the stupid owners for Liga MX, and what the problem is that Liga MX you have owners that own multiple teams, and they're more about worried about making money instead of selling their players off to Europe, which would attract them more, like I said, more exposure. And that's also, like I said, that's also been hurting the Mexican national team too.
like
Like I said, it's like I said, you know more about Liga MX than really more than MLS. Like I said, European leagues, like I said, La Liga and EPL are your two most watched, and then I think your third one's probably your Bundesliga, and then the El Calcio in Italy. Those are your top four.
I do know in
Um,
the United States, I think, and this may have changed, but I think Liga MX is the most watched
mhm.
league
mm,
in the United States now. In our house, it's not. But like I said, here we watch more of the EPL and English football and
but
La
that's
Liga.
See, like
and
in
that's
South America too, what's becoming big now, really more watched now. It's not much of the domestic league. It's more of Copa Libertadores. That's more watched than watching the Argentine league or the Brazilian league or the Chilean league. It's all about the Copa Libertadores. That's what matters most, and that's where I think MLS needs to kind of, if they really want to invest, get their league better, is probably try to get some of their teams in that tournament. Which the Liga MX used to have, and they actually got some teams that made it to the final. And I wish they would go back to playing that tournament, or even the Copa Sudamerica too. That one's also gets a lot of exposure. And if I'm MLS, you want to take the next step, I'd definitely knock on the door of CONMEBOL and say, hey, let me send a couple of teams down there, because imagine if Boca Juniors came over here or Palmeiras played a game over here. It's an instant sellout if they go to play like Inter Miami or something or wherever.
And I will say this: the reason why I think you're starting to see changes from MLS is their Apple deal got cut short for that here. Now they're going to have, I think, more exposure where you're not going to have to pay the subscription for it. So it's just going to be on Apple TV, and then I think still on Fox, but they shortened the number of years for it. And two, MLS is looking to move the calendar to the normal FIFA calendar, which I do think USL will quickly follow as well, just because I think from USL's aspect, they're already trying it with the Super League. And I think, you know, I know from a fan's perspective, and maybe even at some level on the league level, there's a little bit of competition. But from a U.S. soccer aspect, and from the administration side, I think both MLS and USL was using the USL Super League as kind of a testing ground on the winter calendar, and it's worked. Now, has there been some cold games? Has there been some stuff there? Yes, but and I know people in Minnesota and the Northeast will be like, "Hey, through here, you can adjust schedules." We've seen it. I think was it Houston's schedule where they go 4 months without playing at home. Now, part of that's World Cup, but or is it Dallas? Well, there's one team here that goes 4 months without. I think it maybe Dallas because with the stadium issue, where they go basically 4 months there they don't play at home. Period. For that here, so along those lines. But final thoughts. We're over an hour. I don't want to do the full 90 because then Royce will yell at us. If and when Royce listens to this, and I know Jonathan's giving me the funny looks, going, "Hey Harry, wrap it up." And you know how I wrap it up, and it takes another hour to do that. So, Matt, final thoughts. Anything FTC 210 related for the upcoming off season, holiday parties, or anything?
Nah, we're quiet. I mean, all the guys are just enjoying their families, enjoying their time. I mean, you can ask Rafa. Our chat's dead half the time. If it wasn't for JJ, I mean, it's usually just it's dead. And the only ones who really I really talk to outside of it is really just Rafa when we're talking about either soccer or
Thanks, man.
or games. But our group chat too. I mean, there's our group chat too. But
Already got
yeah,
flag ideas already.
yeah. Let's just say there's a one particular night, if it's still a promotional night. Yeah,
It's making its debut.
it's yeah. They want to be ultras, or we're gonna start treating people like ultras. I'll say that. Anyways, but yeah. I mean, we're just chilling.
Spurs, be on the lookout.
We're just chilling. Everybody's chilling. Looking up new instrument. Probably some new drums. We are gonna do some fix up on some flags. I'm gonna see if we can do a meeting around January, February. If anybody wants to go out, this is members, non-members. We're just trying to see what we can do to boost more
Brainstorm
people
ideas.
in the SG section.
I do think it would be kind of cool to have some sort of holiday get together. Whether it's the SAFC Fancast, the old school Copatejas, the new kids on the block, FTC, the kind of medium kids on the block, 210 Alliance, for that here. The old school Bear County Casuals, Mission City. It would be kind of cool to kind of get together and just kind of reminiscent the 14 years of San Antonio soccer, going all the way back to SAFC Scorpions for that here.
But I would also like to add, congratulations to Stuart in his marathon today.
Oh, did you track
So
that? I didn't track.
I
that.
didn't track him,
My
but
bad.
I knew he was doing it. And God, the traffic driving downtown. Oh my God, horrible.
Mhm.
Why would
Horrible.
you go downtown?
I had to drop off Dylan.
Oh.
So, but yeah. Other than that, just keep on the lookout. It's gonna be quiet for a little bit, but we'll start shooting up around January, maybe February.
Jonathan, I know you're super busy. Texas State make a bowl this year? I know they're qualified. I don't remember if I saw
They're
where they were
eligible. I don't know
They're
if
playing
I
in
don't
Fort Worth.
recall. Is it the First Responder Bowl
I
again?
think so.
No, UTSA got the first responder versus FIU.
Oh, okay.
But they're playing in Fort Worth.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I mean, I saw they announced all the playoff stuff earlier, but I did not have enough
Rice
interest.
in the Armed Forces Bowl.
I think that may have been where we were at last year. Anyway, I'm just glad that we were able to close the season strong enough to make a bowl. I mean, there were like 3 straight games, I think, where we lost in overtime. It's like, man, this season could have been so much better if they just sended off those rough edges. But hopefully, I mean, this year was kind of the one where I was looking to see us, okay, let's go ahead and take a step forward. Let's get a few more wins here, and we did not really do that. So next year, hopefully, maybe. I see a lot of people after multiple games saying this defensive coordinator needs to go. So who knows? I don't get to make those decisions. But other than Texas State, yeah, I mean, it's, as we know, it's kind of a quieter part of the year, but that doesn't mean there aren't things brewing behind the scenes. So who knows what SAFC's got cooking? Who knows what everyone else in American soccer has cooking?
Question for you though. For the Real Madrid Manchester City match, any watch parties that you and your family and with the citizens will be going to, or still TBD?
Still to be determined, because for those who don't know, the Winchester, where the City Group and a lot of other groups were meeting, got boarded up, got closed up. So yeah, so that displaced a number of groups all of a sudden. And I mean, we had tried a few different places over the years. One of these days, hopefully one of them sticks. I mean, I don't know. I had my reservations about the Winchester, but anything is better than, having no home at all. So,
Rafa, I know you're a Notre Dame fan, so that means you took your ball and went home instead of playing in a bowl game for that here.
Yeah, we're not gonna pepper sip with Pop-Tarts.
Hey, the Pop-Tart Bowl is actually kind of cool. I won't lie to you. Through there, but yeah, it's how you can drop without playing a game. Although to me, I think Miami should have always been ranked ahead of them because they beat them head to head. But if you're going to keep them ranked every week above them, how they drop the final one there, I don't understand that. But to be fair, I also don't understand taking your ball and going home and not playing a bowl game, because that, number one, I think it takes away from the players. From my understanding, the players did vote on it and say, but I think you do lose the practice. I know you're not in the conference, but the Big 12 fined Iowa State and Baylor, of all teams, for opting out of the bowls, which doesn't make sense, especially from a Baylor aspect. For that here, 500,000. So your final thoughts, Rafa. I know this week, high school scrimmages kick off. I guess you could kind of scrimmages
this
kick
weekend.
off.
Yeah, this Friday.
You get to see some action. I know AJ plays
Friday.
Brennan. They play Brennan
Where
at
at?
Gus. At Gus.
Should be a
So
good one.
it'll be interesting. I know Chief has talked to us about Central Catholic and Southwest on the 19th. So there's some hidden um, matchups that you can kind of see, although scrimmages, just to be fair,
Don't mean
it's
anything.
it's
It's
not
just
about the results. It's
dress
about
rehearsal.
through here, but still, uh, to me, you can kind of look and kind of see the makeup of a team, and especially for Rafa's power rankings when they come out in the future, the pound for pound. It's a way for him to kind of start to see some benchmarks, and more not necessarily result wise, but more just the abilities of the teams here. But Rafa, what is your thoughts or final thoughts?
Well, I might do some power rankings. Probably walk down Marbach or something. I might start doing that, but we'll see. Um, just final thoughts. We'll see what players they sign. I guess for SAFC, just to kind of close it off on SAFC. You know, do they get some more? I'm sure they'll get a couple more signs before the Christmas holiday. We're hopeful. So, as far as with the player holdout, we'll see about that. If that happens, and then yeah, high school season's on the way. If you haven't watched our episode on the radar under the radar list, go check it out. We'll probably do another one. I have a new little segment too. I think I sent it to Harry.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start doing, and then yeah, I'll be working on our PIs pretty soon, and I think they might even have a plan another. I think in a couple of weeks, maybe another episode with 50/50. I think this Coach Khan and I discussed maybe a third. Maybe I'll do the RPIs for the statewide. That's still up in the air, and then yeah, well, I think we have a lot to talk about, especially episode 2 with a result that Steve passed on us, and a little good indicator there that there might be some big changes with this team uh, after the aftermath of what happened of that little scandal. So, so tune in, make sure to watch that, and we're looking forward for. I get to finally get to be home now. I won't get to travel again till to January, so finally get to relax. So and enjoy.
So with the holidays coming up, depending on SAFC, we may or may not have an episode next week. During the off year, we kind of do every 2 weeks ish. But we'll see because 2 weeks would put you at the 21st, which would be right about the Christmas time. So depending on what families are, where we're traveling to, not traveling to, depending on SAFC news. If there is SAFC news, even if it's just me, we may pop on and do just a quick hit for that here. So during the holidays, just to be upfront, um, not that we've been the most consistent this year to begin with, but with it being the off season, we're probably going to be on twice a month, depending on SAFC related news. However, I think for SA Soccer, the Roundtable, um, we may start more weekly episodes. I don't know if it's going to be this week or coming up here because the season kicks off January 1st. And I know Rafa wants to kind of do some previews and stuff along those lines here. So, like I said here, you expect to see a little bit more content, SA Soccer Roundtable, as opposed to SAFC Fancast. Although if SAFC comes out with news for that here, also just and I know I touch on this here with the holiday season, depression, is something that pops up a lot. So if you do need somebody to speak to, please ask any of us, like I said here, any of us, we can help. I know there's the 988 number. I think that's still in place. I don't think Trump screwed that up yet for that here. But there is help here for you, just to kind of touch base and kind of talk through things for that here and for that here. So it is time of year where if you can help families in need, please do. If you have an opportunity to volunteer around the holiday season, please do. If it's just a matter of spending time with family, please do. Even if you have different beliefs, backgrounds, and views, just remember this is the time of year to treat people with respect and be kind to people. It's not hard to do. I know we've got away from it as a society, but it's not hard.
Eh,
Go ahead.
just want to throw this out there as well. Um, you don't know what people are seeing or what darkness people are in, and I'll say it from a personal perspective. You, I can be smiling, but y'all don't. I will never tell y'all what's going on, and I've been working on that with these guys. Harry's probably caught on to me, and Rafa has also. But from my own perspective, people can be smiling, but you don't know what they're going through. So if something's off on one of your friends, please try to get them to talk. Because as someone who likes to be joyful, it's hard to start those conversations with people you don't want to feel like a burden or like that. So just keep close eye on your friends. Sometimes it's gonna be the friends that you wouldn't think would do it. So uh, yeah, just keep close eyes on your friends, guys.
So to me, a really great one is Norwich City. They did a video about suicide prevention where it went two fans who sat side by side to it, and just to me, if you watch it, it'll it's well worth its time, and kind of goes with what Matt says is the person that you think that hey is down. He was down, but he was the one that made the last game compared to the other guy. So just make sure you do check in. Like I said, here we're always available here if you have any questions. And there's people that will listen to you at any times. But to me, like I said, especially during the holiday seasons, I know it gets tough for families. For that here, Matt's talking about. Oh no touchdown. Oh, it hit him right in the hands. Good play by the Texans defenders, but that should have been a touchdown. But what's life? We are out of goals. We're not out of touchdowns like the Chiefs. We are out.